large four-stroke. Obviously with a four-stroke you roll throttle and the thing sits on its nose, whereas a two-stroke you turn off and it's like nothing happened. So little details like that, and when you're racing at the limit, does make a difference. Right, we're ready to go. Lights are gone and away we go. Pole position away very rapidly indeed. I think I can see up the second row there. I think, is that Ramon getting away? No, Max Hardy maybe.
Yeah, Max Hardy is there in fourth, fifth place. That's Sam Cranston up in fourth place, but Luke Wallington is looking to impress. Of course, a former Rookie 1000 champion from a couple of seasons ago, as Rick Ballerini makes his way into the commentary box as well. But Luke Wallington leads the way ahead of Scott Halliday, Sam Cranston, Lee Healy, Max Hardy up next. And just looking further down the order there, I did see that Don Gilbert is at the rear of the field, but yeah, he's not getting into the thick of things with the pack. He's got a fresh front tyre on still, I suspect, from the this morning, because he only completed one lap.
Yes.
But it is Luke Wallington leading the way, Keith, on bike number 49.
Okay, Max Hardy, we've had confirmed that's a 955 Ducati, so that ain't exactly a big horsepower thing compared with some of these Japanese bikes, is it? What's the numbers to a 955 Ducati, mate? Rick, any idea at all?
7180.
No, it wouldn't be that low, surely. Really, as little as that? Wow, okay, so he's giving away twice as much horsepower potentially to some of these bikes. I was hoping you'd be able to maybe give me three figures, but yeah, you're right, they're not known for the big horsepower, are they, those sorts of things? But it is a very light bike, to be fair, and it's being ridden extremely well. And the youngster's holding there in fourth place as he works the curb like a bit of a berm. Oh, somebody a little bit further back. Definitely goes a little bit of grass track in there, but it keeps the power down, holds it together very nicely indeed. That would have been a bit of a squeaky moment there. And Lee Healy drops very badly on that opening lap. It looks like Jake Marsh has made up a load of places there at some point. Ramon Hunt, another fast mover as well, making up six. Oh, Ben Wood, the clubman, goes back by about 10 places. Didn't make
a very good start at all there, Ben Wood, unfortunately. But he's made up 4 positions on this lap, relegating James O'Mara, Jason Burrell, Sir Luke Blackfoot and Jamie Thomas.
Tell you what, Sam Cranston's the one who's impressing me this weekend, mate. The clubman rider we think has been out of action for about a year. And Sam is coming very strongly back, isn't he?
Yeah, you're right. Well, that's a little bit close to the rear wheel of Lee Healy there. Just trying to see who's that in 5th place. It's Lee Healy, Max Hardy, Jake Marsh there. So Jake Marsh riding really well on that number 45 Honda Fireblade, and looking to challenge Lee Healy. But we'll watch them as they come around Clearways and Clark Curve to complete lap number 3. It's a purple sector for Scott Halliday. He's got the better of Luke Wallington a lap ago, and it's a 49.066. 2 purple sectors for Scott Halliday. And yep, Jake Marsh right there. Purple sector in sector number 2 actually for Jake Marsh, who we've seen previously in the Ninja 300s, the MRO 600s as well, and then went on to the GP2 machine at British level. So Jake Marsh recovering after that incident last year, and he's doing a great job.
I'll tell you who's also doing a great job is how Rick Ballerini just pointed this out to me, because Rick, all jokes aside, has got a keen eye for racing. He's been there and done that at the end of the day. And if you watch young Max Hardy there, now look at Max, he's right on the tail of his rivals coming onto Clearways here, right? So they get out of Clearways onto Clark Curve, they put the power down, they squirt away. Watch those big Japanese bikes just race away from that Ducati. He is getting slaughtered in a straight line here, and then watch him on the brakes into Paddock Hill. All of a sudden he's made up a load of ground through the actual corner, closes a bit more, then you watch him up into Druids. He's going to anchor up and he's going to be right on the tail of those guys again. He really is making it all in the corners and under brakes. All of a sudden what was a 20 bike length is now a 10 bike length. Here we come down into Graham Hill, and again we see the youngster throwing that little Ducati into the corners. That's a class in how, and have a look at the bikes behind him as well. That's an awful lot of horsepower trying to catch up with the youngster as well. So he's holding on again. Here we come around the really twisty Clearways. Look at that. He's got to within a bike length again of Wallington in front of him. We know Luke Wallington's no muppet at all. He's been racing at British level and doing very well there too. And all of a sudden he gets the power down, and again he leaves the youngster for dead. But young Max Hardy is, yeah, definitely a chip off the old block. Well, there's a lot of chips, actually. He's about 7 foot taller than Max as well. So, yeah, he ain't the smallest kid on the block, is he? David Kraviecki, that pink bike, former champion of Brands. Yeah, there's a man who knows his way of Brands Hatch very effectively. David, and doing a great job. What do you got, mate?
Yeah, made up 2 positions on that lap, did David Kraviecki, as you mentioned, a former champion in the 600s. He's got the better of number 997 on that lap, and that is of Michael Austin, and also the 45 of Jake Marsh. So a good couple of laps for David Kraviecki. Oh, bit of a moment there for the number 70 machine. That's of Pierce. So Robert Pierce there, very, very close on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. A bit of a head shake from that motorcycle, but he's got it all under control there. That's just behind Dan Chamberlain and ahead of Ramon Hunt, who is leading the way in the retros. But here they come again across the line. It's Halliday, Cranston, Wallington, Hardy, Healy, Kraviecki, Michael Austin now ahead of Jake Marsh, and it's Wood, Chamberlain, Hunt got the better of Pierce after that small little moment at Graham Hill Bend. But round Druids they go in towards Graham Hill Bend. Go for our race leaders, Scott Halliday, bike number 88. Then it's Sam Cranston up next, Luke Wallington, and Max Hardy still right there on the rear wheel of that Fireblade.
Yeah, it's really impressive stuff from the youngster. We know he's a quick kid, but this really sort of shows how talented he is. Look, he's looking to go around the outside of the Fireblade. That's not going to work, because as soon as they get onto what we laughingly call a straight here at Brands Hatch, he's going to get squirted out. But so fast. It's really impressive stuff from the youngster. David Kraviecki there makes his way up a place that time.
Yellow flag up at Druids there. Looks like we've got a rider down, we've got wave yellows. And Ryder is up and perfectly okay. We'll try and catch a number there as they...
wandering away, isn't he? Yep.
Jason Burrell's lost 3 positions, but he has come across the line.
It's going to be somebody who's going to not trip the timing beam over there at the second sector in a moment, I think, actually, mate.
Keep an eye on the times. It looks like Williams and Yanni dropping 4 or 5 positions. They were together on circuit. Yeah, it looks like it could well be Williams and Yanni.
Down the back there, yeah, I think you're right, mate. Yeah, absolutely. A couple of the Clubman riders there, unfortunately, heading to retirement alley.
Yeah, that was the number 14 of Alex Yanni. I just saw that at 1,000.
Okay, well done. Good spot there, my friend. Yep.
4 laps to go. Halliday across the line with a 49.3, so extends his advantage by a quarter of a second over Sam Cranston, and it's a change there actually for 5th place. Lee Healy on the Honda gets the better of David Kraviecki on the Yamaha, but it looks like his roles reversed again as they go through the dip up towards Druids. So Lee Healy now behind David Kraviecki, who runs the long way around at Druids. The marshals still tend to the bikes and the riders up the top at Druids. Max Hardy doing a great job, like you said there, Keith.
That's been the action attraction, Druids, this weekend, hasn't it? We've seen a couple at Paddock Hill, a couple at Clearways, but Druids seems to be the popular parking spot this weekend, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right, though. So it's not normally what we expect, but nonetheless, that's where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, Clearways has been the popular one, certainly at the last couple of meetings. I remember I think I saw something like 30 bikes going at Clearways in our September meeting, something crazy like that. But, I dare say the marshals up at Clearways are glad of the lack of action. They can work on getting their skin to match their overalls before we head up to Alton Park. However, wind might do that for them rather than the sun at the moment. So Halliday, Cranston, Wallington, Hardy, Kraviecki, Healy, Austin, Wood, Marsh, Chamberlain, Donovan, O'Mara, Pierce, Blackford, Baker, Thomas, Burrell, Davey, Hunt and Collins is your order at the moment. Now, in the retros, I'll tell you who we're missing.
Yep.
Dance. What's happened to Darrell?
I don't think he was out there on the grid, in all honesty.
Okay, was he not here yesterday in this? Because I thought he did the ultras as well. The
retros.
Retros. I'm getting him mixed up with somebody else. Yeah, maybe I am. Okay, not to worry. It's all good. Because I thought he was doing 2 classes, that's all. I thought this was his 2nd class, that's all.
Well, Halliday's on his way now into Graham Hill Bend. He's got a healthy advantage of 3.3 seconds, and we do only have 1.5 laps to go there. So that battle for 2nd place, it's not done yet. They've still got a few backmarkers to contend with, and it's Cranston holding the station at the moment in 2nd over Luke Wallington and Max Hardy. But of course, with Sam Cranston being a Clubman rider, that will mean that Wallington is in 2nd in class, and Hardy on the Ducati is 3rd.
Now, I don't know what Luke's plans are, because if Luke is a BSB rider, he might not be scoring points. I genuinely don't know. I'll have to wait until we see the results when they get published next week. But Luke is a BSB runner at the end of the day, isn't he? So it might be that he won't actually be having an effect on the points in this championship. You could say the same about Max Hardy as well, of course. So, yeah, I'd hate to be the one trying to work that little mess out, that's for sure.
Well, Halliday up the inside of one of the tail enders there, and sticks his leg out to apologise for moving him off the line, which is very polite indeed.
Yeah, politeness and racing, not normally words used in the same sentence, but there we go.
Krawiecki now ahead of Lee Healy, so it's the Yamaha ahead of the Honda. And Ben Wood just about recovering after that poor start. He's up into 8th position and 2nd of the Clubman's, with Dan Chamberlain, the reigning rookie 1000 champion, rounding out the overall top 10 and 3rd in class as the last lap flag goes out.
Last
In fact, the checkered flag, my apologies.
That's all right, don't worry about it, mate. I wasn't paying enough attention either. So Halliday, Cranston, Wallington and Hardy is your order. Krawiecki comes across the line just ahead of Lee Healy, and it's Michael Hostin just ahead of Ben Wood. But Ben does take second in the Clubman's there. Then we've got Marsh and Chamberlain. Chamberlain is a third of our Clubman's class there. Then we've got Donovan O'Mara, Baker, Blackford, Pearce, Burrell, Thomas. All good stuff. Okay, time to shuffle the sheets about. I tell you what, Bradley, I just want to go downstairs and confirm something with race control. However, what I'm not going to do is leave you on your own. I'm going to let you have the lovely company of Mr. Ballerini. So I'm just going to let you actually do the whole race